My wife and I have been married for 7 incredible years, but now she's asking for a separation. I'm 38 and she's 40. I'm still trying to wrap my head around this. We've built a life together, and the thought of living apart is devastating. I want to make this transition as smooth as possible for both of us, but I'm not sure where to start. I feel like I'm losing my partner, my best friend, and my soulmate all at once. What can I do to make this separation easier on both of us? This week, we're starting an in-house separation, which means we'll be living under the same roof but leading separate lives. Honestly, I didn't want to do this, but she's been asking for space to clear her head and gain some clarity. Our situation is complicated, and to say the least. I remember when we were younger, she was the one who pursued me relentlessly. At the time, I wasn't ready for a serious relationship, but she didn't give up. We hung out, dated casually, and eventually, it just felt right to commit to each other. I thought we had something special, something that would last. But now, it seems like that's all falling apart. Committing to her was a huge step for me, because I'd been hurt before and was terrified of going through that again. But somehow, being with her felt different. It felt right. I thought I'd found someone who truly understood me. But looking back, I realize I made some mistakes. One of the biggest regrets is missing her sister's wedding. At the time, I didn't know I was struggling with social anxiety. But that's no excuse. I should have been there for her. I also got too comfortable in our relationship. We'd spent so much time together before making it official that I fell into a routine without even realizing it. I took our relationship for granted, thinking it would always be there, always be easy. There were nights when I'd fall asleep on the couch, exhausted from the day, without even realizing the impact it had on her. She never told me how much it hurt her that I didn't come to bed, that I didn't want to snuggle up next to her like I used to. It was a small thing, but it added up over time. I was also guilty of being distant when I didn't feel appreciated. I'd withdraw into my own world, thinking she should understand me, but she didn't. And yet, despite all this, there were good times too. Moments of laughter, adventure, and love that I thought would be enough to carry us through. But fast forward 10 years, and our life looks very different. We have 2 beautiful kids, a house, and a whole lot of responsibilities. But she's struggling. She's developed agoraphobia, and her world has shrunk to the size of our home. Her family, never close to begin with, has drifted further away. Her business, once a passion project, is now a source of stress and financial worry. And to top it all off, her 40th birthday party, a milestone she'd been dreading, was a lonely affair with only one friend showing up to celebrate with her. She's been honest with me, her life isn't what she envisioned it to be. Despite me being here, physically present, she feels a deep loneliness. She's realized that she had an idealized image of me, of who she thought I was and what I could become. But that's not the reality. I'm not the man she thought I'd be. She's disappointed, and I don't blame her. When she looks back on our time together, she only remembers a handful of moments, lazy nights in the hot tub, casual dinners at Panera. Those are her memories of us. She says there's no foundation to our relationship, no depth, no substance. And now she needs space to focus on herself, to figure out who she is and what she wants. She wants to get her life together, to find herself. And then ... maybe ... she'll be able to see if I'm even the kind of guy she'd want to be with. It's a hard pill to swallow, knowing I might not be enough for her, even if I'm willing to change. It's been a whirlwind of emotions leading up to this week. She's been clinging to me, hugging me tight like she's trying to hold on to something that's slipping away. We've been intimate 3 nights in a row, like she's trying to reconnect with me on a physical level. And this morning, she instinctively said I love you and reached out to hug me again, but then caught herself, like she remembered she's not supposed to be doing that anymore. I have to take the kids to school, and she knows it. But it's hard to pretend like everything is okay when it's not. She's been contradictory, saying one minute that we should try counseling, and the next, she's crying and telling me it's over, that we're done. I'm left feeling sick to my stomach, reliving every mistake I've ever made in our relationship. I wish I could turn back time and change things, do things differently, but I can't. And now I'm left feeling confused and scared, unsure of what's going to happen next or how to fix this. Update: I wanted to add a few more things to give you all a clearer picture of what's been going on. She's been honest with me that she's had doubts about our relationship for a long time. So this hasn't just been a recent development. She's been feeling uncertain about us for a while now, and last night She dropped another bombshell when she pictures me with another woman. She feels possessive. It's confusing because it seems like she's pulling away from me, but at the same time, she's still holding on to something. It's like she's torn between letting me go and keeping me for herself. I don't know what to make of it or how to process my own emotions. It's all just so confusing. Story 2. My teacher can't teach anything. I'm seriously frustrated with my English teacher. As a high school student, I've always found English to be one of my strongest subjects. I've consistently scored well on tests, and I genuinely enjoy reading and writing. But every time my teacher walks into class, I feel like I'm wasting my time. The other day, she spent an entire period reviewing past and simple tense verb forms. I mean, come on. This is basic stuff that we covered in middle school. I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but I think any decent high school student should have a solid grasp of this material by now. Unless, of course, they're really struggling, and even then, a quick review shouldn't take up an entire class. It's not just the material itself that's the problem, it's the fact that my teacher doesn't seem to challenge us or encourage critical thinking. We're just going through the motions, rehashing the same old concepts without any depth or analysis. That's not all. There are plenty of other issues with her teaching style. Lately, I've found myself questioning almost everything she says. Like, have you ever heard someone pronounce bus as baas? Yeah, that's my teacher. It's little things like that that make me wonder if she's truly qualified to be teaching English. And it gets even better. Sometimes she'll just make up words or definitions on the spot. I'm not even kidding. I've seen her write nonsense words on the board and act like they're real. It's like she's winging it and hoping nobody notices. To be honest, I've pretty much checked out of class for the past 2 weeks. I show up, sit down, and tune out. There's no point in paying attention when the information is either wrong or irrelevant. I've learned more from browsing online resources and reading books on my own than I have from her lectures. It's frustrating because I want to learn, but I need a teacher who can actually teach. Someone who knows their stuff, can explain it clearly, and inspires us to think critically, not someone who's just phoning it in. Now, I'm torn. Part of me wants to speak up and correct her, especially when she's teaching something completely wrong. I mean, shouldn't someone tell her that boss isn't a word, or that those made-up definitions aren't actually real? But another part of me is hesitant. Do I really want to embarrass my teacher in front of the whole class? What if she takes it personally or gets defensive? I've seen teachers lash out at students who question them, and I don't want that drama. Plus, I'm not sure if correcting her would even make a difference. Would she take my feedback seriously and change her teaching methods? Or would she just brush it off and keep doing what she's doing? So, Redditors, I'm turning to you for advice. Have any of you been in a similar situation? Should I? 1. Politely correct her after class, one-on-one. 2. Speak up in class, but tactfully. 3. Just focus on my own learning and ignore the inaccuracies. 4. Talk to the school administration about her teaching methods. What are your thoughts? Should I take a stand or just grin and bear it?